Let's do it to it. All right. The sinking ship. I mean, you can't turn on the TV and not see it. So I was watching Anderson Cooper last night. I flipped around. Greta was doing one. Anderson was doing one. The woman, the intelligent woman with the short hair, was doing one. So anyway, I, for some reason, watched a little more of the Anderson Cooper one. And apparently the captain made a mistake. I'm not going to bash anybody. It was an accident. Accidents happen. The guy should have been paying more attention. But anyway, this is Medicare You. The topic of the hour is Medicare, so let's talk about a friend of mine, colleague of mine, client of mine, more friend than anything, especially a good friend of my mom's, and radio personality extraordinaire, Barbara Davitt, was nice enough to let me use her story. Okay, you're on a cruise ship, you're in Italy. You want to know, like, what is my insurance going to cover? So a little rundown, and then I'm going to let Barbara explain the story, because it's not as easy as you would think. So first, we're going to address the Medicare Advantage plans. People listening out there, especially at the Dillians, woo! Didn't know you listened to me, and I didn't know you liked the voice. All right, ladies. Okay, so the question always says, what do I have for emergency travel? Well, the reason you'll get more of emergency travel with the Medicare Advantage plans is because they know if you're on an Advantage plan, the chances of you being able to afford an extensive traveling trip is less likely. So, Connecticut first. Connecticut will say $50,000 plan coverage limit for emergency services outside the United States every year. So that's Connecticut. $50,000 every year. Pretty good coverage. Not the greatest, but good coverage. So that's an Advantage plan with Connecticut. Remember, an Advantage plan, you are giving up Medicare. If you don't know after 10 months of doing this show, you need to call the office. All right? So when you take an Advantage plan, you're giving up Medicare. That's Connecticut's. Love the United Healthcare. Did not mean by any means to throw them under the bus. It was way before me. I would have never let that happen to my friend Norman, who was in the studio before. I sell at the office with pen and paper, not over the voice vault phone. If you are admitted to the hospital within 24 hours, you have worldwide coverage. Beautiful. Unlimited with United Healthcare. So they've got Connecticut beat on that aspect. If you're going to be a traveler and you want an Advantage plan, clearly buy the United Healthcare plan. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, worldwide coverage. They're trying their hardest to get their product right. So they've got worldwide coverage, unlimited. With a Medicare supplement, doesn't matter which one, I know them by heart. This is a little bit on the disappointing side. Foreign travel. You have first a $250 calendar year deductible. So my friend Barbara had to eat the first $250. And then you have, again, with a Medicare supplement, $50,000 lifetime maximum. All right, Barbara, take it away and give your story to the listeners.
Well, I was coming back from a cruise. It was the end of the trip, and it had been wonderful. I got off the ship, and I was feeling a little dizzy, and my friends insisted that I had to see the doctor, the ship's doctor. So she came down and insisted I had to go over to McGill University Hospital. Now, I was in Montreal. Went over there, several doctors, young female doctors, came and asked me questions, what have you. Decided that I was fine, and they released me.
Okay.
I gave them my credit card. The bill was $350.
Correct.
No, I guess it was $300.
Whatever.
So I gave him whatever. I gave him my credit card, and left. And I really thought that was going to be the end of it. And then I started getting bills from McGill. The first one was for $560. Didn't know quite what that was about. And then the very next one that came maybe 2 weeks later was for $680. I mean,
300, 5, 6. I mean, these are adding up.
Absolutely. Well, I did finally receive a check for $34. Yes, which I thought was just so generous.
And listeners out there, that's the $250 deductible, 80/20 reasonable and customary, and whatever the difference from the $300 bill was, Barbara receives the difference.
There you go.
And you and I had to do a lengthy conference call for the company to say, oh, we never got the bills. Well, we sent them. We have a paper trail, but we sent them. Again, nobody really wants to pay quickly. You must pay attention. When you're traveling to a foreign country, call your agent in advance. Get the knowledge you need to know what is my coverage, how do I pay for it, keep your card. They don't accept a United Healthcare card outside of the United States of America. They accept Visa, MasterCard,
there it
Amex.
is. And maybe American Express in some cases.
Right. So please, with the ship going down, things happen. This is life.
You know, Michael, this is still ongoing.
Oh.
I mean, I sent them a check. I paid for it because I don't want it to ruin my credit.
Right.
And now, in the meantime, it has not been cashed.
We're going to, obviously, I'm going to take it up because you're a client of mine and I'm on the air with you now.
You'd better.
But we're going to take it up. I don't speak that good. Parlez français un peu, but non très bien. So when I'm calling there, they're like, comment ça va? Ça va bien? I'm like, oh, qu'est-ce que c'est? I'm like, what? So I really...
The only things you know in French cannot be said over the airways.
Oh, no.
Am I right?
I don't know the swears. I know,
Okay.
Vous êtes très belle aujourd'hui,
I love
mademoiselle.
it.
Of course.
But
all
it's
right.
very true.
Yes,
it's very true. You've got to find out what coverage you have. I had no idea when I went on this cruise
Right.
what I had. I had talked to you, but only briefly. So I really didn't know. I never notified you that I was going out of the country.
Well, now I'm on top of it. I'll definitely get going on it. One thing I would like to say to the listeners out there is learn from my friend Barbara. Go into it knowing what you're doing. Don't be blindsided, because now we're out a ton of money. I'm going to get it resolved. You know I will. And you've got to keep copious notes. Document who you saw. Those bills, I'm finding out, are actually people who just read your chart. They're like we call it a drive-by. They looked at your chart. They did a little yep. Happened to Jerry all the time. 17 doctors a day.
Did it? Oh.
Nobody did anything, but they would be there for a minute or two, sign her chart, and
Jerry is Michael's mother.
Bill Medicare for 80 something. All right, we have a caller on line 1. You calling for me or Barbara Davitt? The fabulous Barbara Davitt.
I'm calling for you.
Oh, how are you?
Fine, thank you. I have a question on the foreign travel.
Of course.
Okay, Anthem, Blue Cross, F-Star.
Okay, that's high deductible Medicare supplement. I know it like the back of my hand. Go ahead.
Okay, is it the same as the supplement, or just it's different?
Well, a good radio personality, Michael Regan, who has his own show, better be prepared, and of course I am. I have high deductible F-Star right here in my hand, Plan F, and I will go to the foreign travel. After you satisfy your deductible, which is upfront of $2,000, you're aware of that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to have a $2,000 deductible. And don't let me speak without being sure. Because then my butt's on the line. Foreign travel emergency? Yes, you have it. Okay, so it's going to be deductible first. $250 deductible, and then a $50,000 lifetime maximum. Says it right there on page 17. If you call my office, I could mail you one of these in the mail. Or do you have your description of benefits?
Yes, I do.
Okay, outline of coverage, page 17. Foreign travel not covered by Medicare. Medically necessary emergency care services beginning during the first 60 days of each trip outside the United States of America. So remember, keep it under 2 months, 60 days. $250 deductible in addition to your $2,000. 20% and amounts over $50,000 lifetime maximum. You do have it.
Okay.
Have a safe trip. Enjoy your time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks for listening to the show. All right, rock on. We got a call while Barbara was on. Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
All right, well, who doesn't love you? Questions. You already called in. Where is my awesome axe grinder from Sikorsky who worked his whole life and doesn't qualify for anything? Sir, you definitely have a good point. Call in next time I'm on the air because I'd like for you to really let people know the way you feel. That is an American, not an Americant. He worked his whole life, doesn't qualify for anything. And he's like, if I'm struggling, how are all these people getting so much stuff for free? I like people who get a little aggravated with that. Qualifying for disability in your 30s, and there's nothing wrong with you. That's not what it's about.
Happens quite often,
It
I understand.
unfortunately does. The city of Waterbury, my friend who works for the city of Waterbury called the office. Keep your wife's plan. Stay on your wife's plan. All right, a little rundown, and we're actually going to do a dedicated show. Producer Nick, my wife had a phenomenal idea that I called you on the other night. We're going to do, Barbara, a how-to. How to start to finish, be ready for Medicare, what to do, credible coverage, how to enroll in Part B. They're shutting down the office in Norwalk, the Social Security office. So sooner or later, it's going to be no offices within the next 5 to 10 years, and you're going to have just the Internet. So producer Nick and I will put together a video. I'm even thinking about maybe putting it on iTunes and having people download it for 99 cents. That way, it'll generate a little profit. We'll just start some nonprofit organization or something for it. All right, I'm being told to wrap it up. Thanks for another great episode. Michael Regan. See you next Wednesday.